On today's show, we're talking to all you triathletes out there, runners, swimmers, bikers. Find out how to get protected. We're on location with Todd Greenwood from the ever-popular Competitive Edge, and he's going to teach us how to protect ourselves when we're out in the elements doing what we love most.
And also, get chapped lips? Well, I like my bump. Find out what I'm talking about when we come back. So stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this. Welcome back. Well, another great show in store for you guys today. Here we're on location at Competitive Edge.
Doesn't look like a normal set.
No, it's actually nice being out.
It is.
The change of scenery for a little bit. But before we have the honor of speaking with Todd Greenwood, the manager here at Competitive Edge, we actually have some great books that we have come across and have been very compelled and motivated by that we want to share with you. One is A Pale Girl Speaks, and I know, Megan, you had read that.
Yes.
I had not got through the whole thing of it yet because I was reading another book that we'll talk about in a second. But what was your take on Pale Girl Speaks? Who wrote it? Why did she write it?
Right. It was written by a young lady named Hillary, and it really struck me because obviously it's a first-hand account of her experience with melanoma, so something that I could relate to.
Yeah, unfortunately.
In more ways than one. And this excerpt that that I have here in front of me, she's talking about the diagnosis and the word cancer and how scary it is. And I just wanted to read this line because it reminds me so much of my mother. Mom is right outside the front door. I can hear her panting, her body ready and in wait. A bundle of raw nerves set to burst the moment her size 5.5 feet hit my recently Swiffered hardwood floors. So all I could think of is when I was diagnosed and my mother's reaction and just a bundle of nerves is a great way to describe how your parents feel when they hear that their son or daughter has cancer.
Now, is it something that you shared with your parents when you were?
Yeah, I mean, it was when after my initial diagnosis, I actually, left the doctor's office and called my parents. My mother was the first phone call that I made. And, I called her and I can't even remember if I was crying because I might have been so in shock that it just wasn't
taken back, like, okay,
registering.
I just heard, yeah.
Right, and so it was, just a horrible conversation because she wasn't even around. She was on the Cape, and so she couldn't, come home, I'll hug you. It was kind of like, okay, we'll come home as soon as we can. Like we're packing up. We're gonna get in the car now. So it was an awful experience, not only to be diagnosed, but then to have a parent, to hear that your son or daughter has cancer. It's just so this book was, it's her first-hand account of her diagnosis with melanoma and her experience. And so
do you know how it concluded? Like, obviously she's alive in order to be able to write the book and share her experiences, and she's able to survive from it and share with others. It's almost like, remember that show, I don't think it's on the air anymore, The C Word?
Yes, with Laura Linney.
Yes. And that's almost like the same thing, only giving you a visual of what people to go through. And as sad as it is, honestly, I think, because our biggest thing is education, and our biggest thing is getting the voice out there about how this disease impacts people, but how it doesn't have to be so impactful, because you can decrease the statistics of the numbers of people dying by education. So here it's it's just somebody speaking step by step and living it, letting people like myself, who wasn't personally affected with it, really get the inside look of the pain and the suffering and the scare and every kind of emotion that it goes through. So in the first parts that I was reading, it just makes you so like, oh my God, almost makes you feel like you're going through it yourself.
Right, and I love how she says he's on his way, she's on her way, the whole effing world is on their way to my house and I have cancer. That's what it is, people come together, and when they hear news like this, and it's almost, people are well-intentioned, they mean well, but it's overwhelming. Sometimes you need a moment by yourself to digest the diagnosis before you can sort of accepting the comfort.
Soak in the reality of like, okay, this is what I have, now how do I deal with it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So like I'm gonna. My whole thing is like, I want to conquer it.
Right.
But there are people who do take it the other way and just sort of want a minute and say like, oh my God, I'm gonna die.
Right.
So we want to get those people out of that.
Yeah. So there was another book that you had mentioned, Daddy's Promise, that you had wanted to talk about.
Yeah, yeah.
What was that about?
It was by Brendan T. Hoffman, and he's not like a writer or anything like
Right.
that. He's a father. Not say just a father. He is, a very heartwarming, giving man. When his daughter, at 28 years old, was diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma,
Oh, wow.
what is it?
Metastasized?
Metastasized. Yes, thank you. Into her brain.
Oh my gosh.
So he spent
That's awful.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week with her by her side for 10 months. I mean, what parent
God.
wouldn't go over and beyond? And I know a lot of people who are watching this right now may be thinking, oh my God, I know somebody, whether it's cancer or melanoma
Right.
or something else, you're
Going through it.
Yeah. So they talked about everything under the sun, and the book that he wrote was like a twofold thing. It was a step-by-step story, letting people know and giving them an insight to his day-to-day dealings with the most, the most special person in his life,
Right.
on a day-to-day basis, and how she was dealing with cancer and the treatments and all that. But then on the same token, him dealing with her passing.
Wow.
And having to bury your daughter
Oh, my
at such a
God.
young age. Whether, at any point, burying your child is a
Burying a
horrible
child,
thing.
right.
But, and then promises that he had made to her, during this whole ordeal, and that he felt it was, his way of healing and his way of, her looking down upon him.
Right.
As
Kind
they
of
believe.
letting it go.
Yeah, so this, father is just a very compelling story, and he did write another book after that, and it's funny because he does go on to say that he's like, I never thought I'd be an author,
writer.
I never thought I'd be a writer, but it's amazing what emotions and personal trauma, that you go through,
Right.
that compels you to do
I'm sure
something.
this was like therapeutic to him
Oh,
as
very
well.
therapeutic, and not only to him, but to so many people. He's gotten emails, he's gotten calls from people that this book has been such a healing for them.
Sure.
So with that, he did write another book. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but you can go on and Google Daddy's Promise, and it'll give you the list of things that
All the
he's done and
books.
accomplished. But there is something that he said that all loss is hard, all loss is lonely. But there is something about the loss of a child that puts it in a unique category. And no, obviously I don't wish I ever could express that or have that feeling.
Right.
But I do sympathize for everybody out there who's lost a loved one, who's lost a child. So please check these books out. I think you'll find it very therapeutic yourself, and just applause to the people who had the strength
Willing to share
to deal
their
with it and
stories.
to share it. Yeah, absolutely.
Public, very public. So stay tuned. We're going to be meeting with Todd Greenwood from Competitive Edge coming up next.
Well, welcome back. We have Todd Greenwood with us today from Competitive Edge. Thank you so much for not only being here, but for allowing
Letting us
you,
use this.
open up your space to us. It's great to get out of our little studio once in a while and be in the real world and see what you have going on here.
Yeah.
Well, what the importance of even being here is because of the fact that I like to say I'm a triathlete. I do triathletes. I run. I'm getting more into it, not like the ones that and what you're involved with, but it's, to me, the most important to get in touch with these runners and these triathletes who are in the elements literally 20 hours out of a day. Out of a 24-hour day, they are out
Training.
5 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. And a lot of them, you know, are out when it's dark.
Right.
You know, then they come into a building, you know, doing their work. Then they go out during lunch. Then they come back into that intermittent of the sun and the different types of elements that they're faced with, the early sun, the late sun.
Right.
You know, it's crazy.
Does it seem like something that, you know, runners are even concerned about when they come in here? Is that even a
Because you
question?
see like the raccoon face and they're really, really red, and you could see where they may not have had well protection.
Right.
You know, because I've gone to Lake Placid and you see, you know, and I've gone to New York City Marathon and you see thousands and thousands of this. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I think people have become, definitely have identified more, you know, with protection, being out there in the elements. You know, when you're outside training and being active for long periods of time, you know, you're exposing yourself to, you know, the sun. And
It's, to me, it's like it's not the first thing that maybe they're thinking of. They're thinking of, I got to get my, you know, 10 miles in. I got to get my this. And, you know, is it something that you think is the first thing that they're thinking of, though?
it's not at the forefront of their thinking and what they, you know, their immediate needs are and what they're after. And most people are in a time crunch and they're trying to achieve certain goals in a very short period of time. So to achieve those goals, they're going to sacrifice certain things, and those things might be some things that are very important that are being overlooked, like, you know, skin protection and things that could be used to help them protect from
Is
UV.
it something, no, I'm sorry, is it something that your staff now is kind of realizing, oh, we should mention the UV protecting clothes or sunblock? Is it something that, you know?
I think everybody's become more aware of it.
Right.
You know, obviously, at one point or another, people do get impacted or affected by, you know, melanoma. And I think what more people have become aware of is what, especially with the staff here in the shops, is that there are more products that are now being developed to help prevent and protect people from UV rays.
Yeah, you have some here. What are these white, what are these, arm guards?
For example, for many cyclists, they're out there for long periods of time riding on their bikes, and you know, a lot of cyclists will get out there and they'll go and they'll ride for, you know, a good 40, 50, 60, 70, 100-mile rides over the course of a, you know, 5-6 hour period. And, you know, during the hot summer days, you know, you're getting, you know, the sunlight speeding down on you, and there are now UV fabrics that can be introduced and used as protectants. And a lot of people think about wearing these sleeves during a period of, you know, 90-degree temperatures out there during the course of the day.
Right.
But these have become so popular with so many cyclists because it, you know, when you're riding your bike, you're in a particular position and you're in that position for 4, 5, 6 hours.
Right.
And you're going to get, you know, obviously, you know, the sun exposure.
This
So
is nice and light, though. It
Yeah.
feels like it
And
would
it's
let
white.
air flow. And
So it's not like a dark
Right.
color, like, you know,
Yep.
that, yeah, because I know there's a lot of black jacket.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the cyclonauts have that black and yellow kind of thing. So definitely something light
Yep.
repels the
Yeah,
sun.
this is something that's easy and it doesn't involve having to do the application of sunscreen. So this is a
Exactly.
And
really
you don't
good-
want to wear, obviously, because I'm thinking, why don't they just wear a, you know, zip-up kind of
Yeah.
thing, but
Too hot
not in the
sometimes.
summertime.
Yeah.
A lot of what people are concerned about with a lot of the you know, applicants that can be applied to the skin to protect you from a lot of that ultraviolet stuff is that stuff is water soluble. That stuff over the time of, you know, perspiring and working out, that a lot of that stuff will have to be reapplied or it will wear off and it will get into, you know, your eyes and cause irritation to the skin.
And they're not going to stop or have time as they're obviously riding.
Yeah, so to put something on that's going to protect you and it's something that's going to actually absorb moisture, keep you dry, keep you cool, and keep you protected from the sun. These are a neat item from a company called Pearl Zumi called Sun Sleeves. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Now, what are some of the other items you have? I see there's chapstick as usual. There's
Yep, there's a lot of chapsticks that can be used and sunscreens that can be used to help with protection. There's also an anti-chafe cream that is used quite frequently for many athletes. You know, and this is something that provides UV protection as well.
oh great.
Never,
No.
ever.
Yep.
Because I know, I've not personally used the
yeah,
tapping,
yeah.
but I know a lot of, you know, men, you know, who've used it.
Yep.
And never, you know, has it ever even thought that it would be,
Yeah.
you know, an
Yep.
SPF protection.
That's nice because then it's not a second application. They don't have to worry about doing
Yeah.
multiple applications.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what about these helmets that you have here?
Now there are some other things that, you know, we're getting into the, you know,
this on.
cooler months, and there are a lot of products in the wintertime, and as we were talking about cycling and you know, triathlons and you know, being outdoors during those periods of time, you know, being active. You know, we're now moving towards, you know, winter months where, you know, we have a lot of athletes that are now getting outside, doing other things, and the daylight is not as long, but at certain points of the year, just as strong.
Right.
And the sun,
especially with the snow.
right, I think reflects on the
Yep.
on the snow.
Yep.
Now, what would this be used for? Would it just be for snowboarding, or is this like something that somebody would wear riding a bike, or is it just like basically for snowboarding?
This would be used for winter sports applications only, so it would be a ski or snowboard helmet, and these helmets would be applied for protection. First and foremost is that they're going to be used for, you know, protection and keeping you safe on the mountain, but they are also going to provide you UV protection as well.
Awesome too. You look
Oh, yeah,
super
right.
cool.
Doesn't it look right with my dress? But, you know, and that's the thing, I see that, that commercial where it's like, oh, just
Yeah,
have,
she's
just
on a
have bad hair. You know, I worked years ago for an eyeglass company, and I don't know if you could tell from the camera that it almost looks like a rainbow
Yeah.
on the, I don't know if that one has it
Yes.
as well. But isn't that the special coating that
Polarized.
the polarized that's on the glasses that sort of helps prevent, you know, sunblock?
Well, there's a couple of things to understand. There's polarization on glasses that will really improve visibility, and then there's UV protection that can be used on, you know, glasses or goggles. And there's a couple different types. There's UVA and UVB protection on certain, you know, optics. And a lot of these goggles now are being introduced with these protections so that you can protect from ultraviolet rays. Same thing with sunglasses. You know, these sunglasses are polarized, but also they're going to have the UVA and UVB protectants that will keep your eyes safe from those ultraviolet rays. And
Because you can get melanoma in your eye.
Yep.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
So scary.
which again, a lot of people don't realize, and we don't want people to feel like they have to live in a bubble. We just want people to be more conscientious. Oh, this looks good.
Right.
We want people to be more conscientious of what they do and how to protect themselves. Like runners. Again, I'm a runner, so I'm more conscientious, I think, over the past couple of years of what I eat
yeah.
than I did years ago.
Right. Yeah.
So it's that type of thinking where it's like, I'm going to be out in the sun for the next 10 hours. You know, okay, so let me make sure that, you know, what
Got
I'm
my arm
wearing
guards,
is
the chapstick,
SPF.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
let me make sure that I'm wearing glasses that have that protection. Let me make sure I have chapstick that I could easily put on, you know, because they could do that. I know
Yeah.
I've done that. You know, while they're running, that has that extra protection. The more that you're protected, the better that it is.
Yeah.
You know, for your skin, for your future, you
Yeah.
know, and all that.
Yeah.
So-
Doesn't seem like you're getting a lot of exposure, but it builds up over time.
yeah,
so.
It does.
Yeah, and
It
that the
does.
length amount of time that people are out there.
Right.
Now, something like this is what I meant to ask before. Obviously, it's because they'll be sweating. Is it, you know, like the shirts that are water repellent, like it won't soak, like will they get wet?
No, a lot of these fabrics are designed to have this moisture wicking property to it.
So
So
it could breathe.
what it will do is it'll allow that moisture to dry very quickly. So it gets into the fabrics and the fabrics dry very quickly. So
Great.
they're
Quick
designed
dry.
to stay dry and dry quickly and, you know, prevent you from getting, you know, damp and overheating, because moisture does cause overheating as well.
Now, all of these products will be able to, if people at home maybe can't get to your location, because I know you have 3, right?
Yep,
3
we
locations.
have a location here in East Long Meadow.
Okay.
We're also in Holyoke on Route 5, and we have a couple of snowboard shops as well, one in East Hampton, as well as one here in East Long Meadow. And,
Now, if they wanted to purchase an item that maybe they've seen on our show today, could they go to your website?
you could
and
visit us at our
order it?
website, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, we are at competitiveedgeskiandbike.com, and you could visit us there
Okay.
if you don't make it down to the shops. And you know, could always give us a call the old-fashioned way and just inquire.
See, and
We can help you out.
that's what I like.
I know.
You know, I came from Long Island, New York, so it's just a small town. I mean, I remember, I'm dating myself, but I remember going to the like the local Lois and Clark, local
Yeah.
CVS, you know, if you will, and being, oh, I'm gonna take, you know, this chapstick and this, and you know, put it on a charge, and they would send me a bill.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but
Not
you know,
anymore.
no,
Yeah.
but it's still nice to know
Yeah.
that you have that. You're very
Yeah.
personable. Your staff here are always very knowledgeable. You really go 150% full forward when it comes to supporting our causes and our organization. You know, we're very grateful to Competitive Edge for the donations that you have provided to us, you know, for the triathlon that we did in, you know, Chicopee. And that's what's getting me more and more educated. The more that I get involved with it, the more that I do it. And that's why reaching out to you, I wanted that education to be out to our audience.
Yeah.
You know, because there are so many runners and bikers
Right, if you're
and
trying to be physically
snowboarders and
it's all about healthy lifestyle.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
do you do anything even with golf? I mean, is it
No, that's a big
No,
one.
we don't do anything with golf, but you know, like I said, a lot of our customers that we see that come through our shops are active lifestyle people.
Right.
They are golfing, they're swimming, they're running, they're
Yeah.
biking, they're skiing,
it's
they're
so nice
snowboarding.
to see more of that.
Yeah, and that's what we see a lot of people definitely in the past few years gravitating towards is ways to get out there and enjoy the outdoors and you know, provide a healthy lifestyle doing that.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
And
thank
that's,
you.
That's what's the importance
This
about
is great
having
info.
people know what they can choose in the store. Well, let me choose this because this has, you know, better
Right.
protection.
Yeah.
Or let me go with this because, you know, that'll help me in the long run type
Yeah.
of thing. So.
And we have a great staff here, and everybody that in all of our shops are really, you know, they're here because they love the industries and the sports that we're involved with, and everybody's pretty active in those sports. And if we don't know or haven't quite figured it out yet, we are very quickly developing those things and figuring them out. And I want to say that the majority of our employees are probably at the forefront of figuring out what's the next newest, neatest
That's good.
products to bring into the shops and provide for our customers.
And I can vouch for that because I've come here, you know, for different things, you know, over the years, hiking and things like that, and family and friends have
Yeah.
come here too. And we've actually, you know, would go to places that were closer to our home, but drive, you know, here because of that.
Right.
Because it's like, wow, you know.
They go above and
I think
beyond.
there's a problem with Steve's bike.
Yeah.
And the wheel was like unbalanced. I was like, well, he just got it tuned at this, you know, other shop that we were going to.
Yeah.
So it was nice to know that, you know, the people here do know what they're talking about. And if they don't know the answer, they're like, listen, hey, you know, I want to research and get back to you kind
Yeah.
of thing. And that's what we need nowadays. You know,
Right.
all that we've been going through with the storms and the tornadoes and all this other stuff, it's nice to know that there's a home base, there's people that do care,
Right.
that one-on-one feeling instead of everything being online and texting
Right.
and so distant, you know, from today's world. So, you know, we really do appreciate, you know, your effort and your knowledge and your support. And what else does Competitive Edge do? I mean, do you do, I think in the summertime, don't you organize like even races? Or
Yeah,
ride things?
yeah,
And
no, we've
it's not just like a friendly, great
No,
little atmosphere. Come, let me
we've-
help you with your
We've
needs.
really, the past few years, really tried to develop more of a culture in our shops and in our stores, and give back more to the community in doing things, whether it be supporting, you know, great causes like yours, or you know, we've developed a cycling club, and we provide you know, cycling activities for a lot of people. They come out, we ride as groups, and we teach people that are maybe less familiar with cycling in groups and cycling out on the road, and teach them some of the rules to you know, just abide by and get them comfortable riding their bikes.
And the main rule,
Great.
Yep.
stay protected
Yeah.
from your son.
Exactly.
But no,
So,
and
yeah.
I think that's awesome. And
Yeah.
you know, I know that, you know, you're a true advocate for what we do, and it's nice that you stock your stores with things that do protect people. So, you know, I really appreciate you're counting on you to also help when you are in these groups, and when you do talk to these guys, to just, you know, that friendly reminder of like, hey, you know, your sunblock,
forget your
hey,
skin.
you know,
Yeah.
Yep.
wear the arm guards, hey, you know,
Right.
that kind of thing. And that's sort of how it becomes infectious, and that's sort of how,
Yeah.
you know, more people are going to get it, where they're like, you know, sometimes they'll make fun of themselves. Oh, look, you know, you see my tan lines, and I look like a scarecrow, whatever.
Right.
But, you know, they're like that all the time. Like,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
some of us that will get maybe a certain color, and then after a week or so, it'll fade away. These guys, and that's what I think just bothers me so much, it's constant.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they never get a break.
Yeah.
They'll
Right.
travel
Yeah.
to like Florida. They'll travel, so they're
Yeah.
constant, like they are
Right.
avid athlete.
Outside
And
of the
you
time.
know you guys are.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
an addiction, and it's
Yeah.
a great addiction.
Yeah.
But staying protected and giving your skin a chance to heal and be protected is going to be worth it in the long run. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
sure you've seen
Yeah.
you know, a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, have any, like with the cyclists and stuff, because I know you're really around it more than me, do they talk about it at all? Or did they ever talk or mention melanoma? Or did they ever say, hey, what's up with my skin? Or
I think that it's become a little bit more common, and I've seen some things with some people that have identified stuff, you know, and I would say that not as common as it should be. I think what we see is more people coming in, and you know, we have, you know, customers that are out there putting, you know, over 10,000 miles a year on their bicycles alone, and and that's a lot of time on a bike.
$10,000 a year
But
on stuff.
but the 10,000 miles on their bikes over the course of that year, they're
All time that they're outside,
riding their
exactly.
bike. I mean, so just think about the time of exposure that they've put themselves through. And
Right.
I don't think they identify with that as much as they should be. I think they're more focused on nutrition. I think they're more focused on equipment.
Right.
And those are at the forefront of what their thought process is. So
unfortunately.
it really does need to become, I think, something more in the mainstream. And I think that there needs to be more just identification with what's going on and how
How
to
do you
do that.
think that could be a help in this industry, in this environment, that we could try to get these athletes to sort of think of it a little bit more in the forefront?
Should probably have dermatologists, I feel like, maybe doing screenings at some of the events that you were talking about.
Well, that's kind of funny that you say that, but you know, we've done different events, whether it be, you know, club events or events that we've sponsored here at the shop, that we bring in people to, you know, talk about new products, new technology, what's going on in the cycling industry, and you know, we've started to think more about how can we do more things, and we've looked at, you know,
Bringing awareness
coaches that have helped develop with training programs to you know, help develop athletes to take them to that next step. And I think some of the important things is to start looking at, like you mentioned, dermatologists that can come in and start talking about things that are important as well.
Exactly.
Because it's great about the nutrition, it's great about new equipment, it's great about how they're going to get faster and shorten their time. But, you know, I think like what's always missed is, what about your skin?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's never
'Cause
anyone's first
no.
thought.
So that's like, how could we change that? How
Yeah.
could, you know,
Right.
and having your insight to become
Yeah.
you're in this world, you know, how could that be brought to their attention a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
and
they realize it is just as important
Needs
as
to become
eating
part of the
right.
routine.
It is just as important as, you know, in decreasing your speed. You know, it is as important to strengthen your legs so that you can go faster. You know.
Yeah.
I just think it's important to identify it and to make a conscious effort to do something and be proactive about it. And I think that's important. And I think you'll see more and more companies starting to develop more products to really help people more aware of it and put it in the forefront.
I think it's a subtle approach too. I think with any of us, as you know, we can all be stubborn and be like, if it's thrown in your face right away, people are going, no,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
need to
then
do
like
for you."
this isn't the primary focus of the Body Glide. It's, you know, an afterthought, but it
Yeah.
happens to be
SPF,
SPF. So
Right.
Yeah.
And then the chapsticks,
Yeah.
you know, the
Yeah.
different. So you're right. I think that's society.
it's not the primary
slowly
goal, but
putting it out there, but having somebody like yourself, you know, having us get out there and target different areas.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we'll, you know, do, you know, we were trying to get to the young ones and do spray tans, you know,
Right.
and
Right.
we're in the schools and the high schools, you know, Megan's more into the colleges and I'm into the high schools and middle schools, and then targeting, you know, people like
Athletes.
yourself and getting into the athlete world and, you know, sort of, you know, getting
little
the different-
pockets of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So-
eventually it'll catch on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
Oh,
for
my
letting us
pleasure.
be here.
Yeah.
So
Thank you for coming.
knowledgeable and so patient.
Yeah.
You know, for the little glitches of our
Behind
first
the
time
scenes.
tasting. Yeah, behind
Yeah.
the scenes. Watch out for our next episode. Bleeps and bloopers. Coming up soon.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Thank
but
you so
no,
much.
but it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for welcoming us into your home here at Competitive Edge.
Well, thank you for coming. It's my pleasure.
Okay, thank you.
So stay tuned. We're going to have some more information coming up next.
Dear 16-year-old me,
Dear 16-year-old me,
Dear 16-year-old me,
please don't get that perm. It's not as awesome as you think it's going to be.
You have to actually practice in order to learn to play guitar.
Whiskey tastes even worse on the way up.
Dear 16-year-old me, there's going to be a new set of Star Wars movies. Don't watch them. They ruin everything.
Dear 16-year-old me, this is where they took the cancer out. It was something called melanoma.
It's called malignant melanoma.
Malignant melanoma.
Malignant. That's not a very friendly word.
You'll be diagnosed when you're 28.
18.
36.
29.
22.
It's a tumor that starts in your skin cells, the cells that give your hair and skin color.
It's not just skin cancer.
Well, it is,
Well, it is.
but not just the...
Cut it out and it'll be fine kind, unfortunately.
It's the kind that you have to catch before it spreads.
Because it spreads so fast.
So fast.
To places like your liver,
Your lungs.
your brain. Yours will be a really rare kind in your left eye, and that's when you'll find out.
That melanoma can show up on your tongue, the palms of your hands, and the soles of your feet.
Your doctors will tell you you're lucky that you caught it early.
Yours will tell you that you need aggressive treatment.
I'll have to tell you it might take a year of chemotherapy.
And you'll need to do some of the injections yourself.
Dear 16-year-old me,
You're doing okay.
you're strong.
But there are some things I want you to know.
I wish I'd known.
That one bad sunburn before you turn 18.
Doubles your chances of developing melanoma.
That fair skin and red hair means that you're at a higher risk of getting it.
As if ginger people didn't have enough problems.
That you're at higher risk if you've got more than 50 moles.
And if you have a weakened immune system or a family history of skin cancer.
I want you to know the outlook is very good if we can catch it early.
Welcome back. We just had Todd on from Competitive
I
Edge.
know, he's such a nice guy.
Yeah, he had a lot of good tips on how to protect ourselves during sporting when
Yes.
we're outside doing whatever it is,
Yes,
running, biking.
very knowledgeable. I mean, he's definitely in the field he needs to be in. And he's
Definitely.
always so generous. I'm not saying him, but obviously he has the willpower and the powers that be to donate to the Melanoma Education
Yes.
Foundation. So he's donated or has been able to get us a bike and
Oh,
gift
wow.
certificates, and the triathlon that we've done in August, the comedy event that we do
Yep.
near Boston in April. So we're very,
great.
very appreciative
Yeah.
for Competitive Edge and his support.
Absolutely. And speaking of sporting events,
Yes.
You were talking earlier about the Munson Memorial.
Memorial Classic.
which
yet again
holds a near and dear place in my heart because it was the first place I ever spoke.
They still
in
talk
public,
about you
so.
there. Yes, every time I show up, they're like, "Oh, Megan." I'm like, "Yes."
But I'm here.
Exactly. No, but I'm very happy to have walked in your
No, they're great.
footsteps,
They're
so.
wonderful.
But they are. And obviously, it's a sad story of how the whole thing got started. I'll be brief about it. But there was a woman, Kelly Waldron, and Kathy Waldron Perry. And remember Jack Perry? He was one of our
Yes, he
first
was our
guests
first
on
guest,
Skin
yes.
Talk. Yeah. And so it was his wife that
Yes.
died of melanoma. And then literally, I think 3 months after that, his wife's sister died of breast cancer. So within 3
awful.
months, these parents lost 2 of their children. I mean, they were in their
My
20s and
God.
such. So their best friends over the past 17 years had formed the Munson Memorial Classic in support
Right.
of melanoma awareness and cancer.
Yep.
So every penny that's raised goes to donate towards melanoma,
awareness and all that.
or
Wow.
cancer. Yeah.
Wow.
So 17 years.
Oh my
Pretty
gosh.
crazy. And there's over 300 runners. It's a half marathon and then a 5K, which is like 3 mile, and then like a walk. So there's people who come from Germany, Kenya.
Oh my
I
gosh.
mean, it's
All over.
STAT approved, so it's
Wow.
a registered, notarized kind of, marathon.
It's legit.
It's very legit. Yeah, that we have people, coming from who do the
All
New York
over the
City
place.
Marathon,
Wow.
coming to it. We have a lot of great support. My friend Tony, who owns Body Works Unlimited, is providing 2 lead cars.
Oh, wow.
The Village Mart in Hamden.
Yep.
They're providing a bunch of pies to give to the runners.
Oh, nice.
Friendlies,
Because that's
of
what you
course.
need after you go running, is a pie.
Yeah, yeah. That's why
Seriously,
you're running.
you deserve
I'm gonna
it.
Get that out
You
the
deserve
pie.
it if you're running a half marathon.
Definitely. And Big Y and
Right.
Hamden Nurseries, and
Oh,
there's
nice.
just so many local support. So it really, really is a great thing. It's, so check it
We've
out.
both been there.
Yes, for future reference, it's usually done. It's every second Sunday, I think, of November. So check it out for future reference. You can go to munsonmemorialclassic.com and find out some details about it.
How to get
So,
involved. Great.
Yeah, so.
All right, now I have to ask, at the beginning of the show, you said you loved your bum.
Yes. Yeah, don't you
It's
love your
been
bum?
bothering me all day. I've been curious the whole show.
Yeah, don't you love
Explain.
I like my arms. Don't you love your bum?
Bum, not so much.
Okay.
Other parts,
I
maybe.
was actually, first I heard it on the radio, and I'm like, what?
You love your what?
Yeah. So I Googled it.
Yep.
And it's actually an amazing sunblock product.
Oh.
And it's the only thing that has cured my chapped lips.
Really?
It is like guaranteed.
But
it's made,
I love my bum on your...
I know. I don't
weird.
know where they came up with the catchphrase or the name of it.
Well, here we are talking about it, though.
But it is something that you can use on your lips. It is something that you could apply on your body.
Oh.
It is basically not, they have chapstick, they have makeup, they have sunblock, they have every kind of product whatsoever.
Wow.
It's natural, it's inexpensive. It's sort of been plastered over everywhere. Celebrities use it. They've been in many magazines, Self Magazine, People Magazine.
Now I have to try it.
So it really is something to check out. You know, again, I like the fact that it's reasonably priced.
Right.
The most important factor is that it works.
Yep.
And the catchphrase.
Yeah.
You know, it made me, obviously, I heard
Googled
on the
it,
radio,
now we're talking about
yeah,
it.
So it's
You're
like
going to probably Google it.
infectious. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's what it's all about. It's
That's
finding
marketing
that
for you
buzz.
at its finest.
Yes, exactly. So if you like your bum, check it out.
Excellent. So thank you so much for watching. As you know at home, many continue to lose their lives or their battle with melanoma, but through education and information on early prevention, we can put an end to that.
If you'd like an overview of today's show, share your story, have questions, please check us out at skintalk.org.
Or you can email us at info@skintalk.org.
Thanks for watching.